Hello, Suns fans. This is Suns Latest. I am Rich Rubin. As of this recording, close to 1,300 Suns subscribers. We're kind of stuck at the 1280 spot for usually a holiday week. It usually goes like that. But so what? We're still going to do this. So I appreciate you becoming a Suns subscriber. I appreciate your comments. Let's get to it. Here is the quote. The end is nothing. The road is all. That was from writer Willa Cather, and it's a double quote. On and on until it circles back, like the game itself. That is from Nelson Algren, a novelist. That is written on his tombstone. The first part and the second part are written on his tombstone, but they're two separate quotes, and they are put on the second afterword on the book Heaven is a Playground by Rick Tellender, the book I just finished reading. I told you I couldn't put it down. I finished that book in about 6 days. I think it's a very important thing to remember that enjoy the ride. If you're not enjoying the ride, then what's the point? The end is nothing. The road is everything. So even if you're not having a good day, enjoy the ride because you'll never technically get there, wherever there it is you think you're trying to get. And I try to live my life that way. It's incredibly difficult. All right, so Lakers at Suns last night. Suns are now 16-13 and second in the Pacific, seventh in the West. Lakers are 19-9, first in the Pacific, fourth in the West. They're just not that good, and I don't know how they have the record. They have Luka, but that's about it. Luka Doncic was out for the Lakers. Jalen Green now out 2 to 3 more weeks with the same hamstring, closing in on missing half the season, even though he was just reevaluated and is reported to be making good progress. According to Coach Ott, quote, everything is headed in the right direction. So he was just reevaluated. Look at the full 3 weeks, and then he will be reevaluated. And if he's ready to go, it's going to be a month before he's in shape. So yeah, he's looking at missing about half of the season. And yes, this is as frustrating as it gets. But on a brighter note, the Suns got this one as they should have. And yeah, it was a rout, however you like to say that word. 132-108. Suns get the Lakers. Lakers are a bad defensive team. Jared Vanderbilt is their only defensive-minded player. LeBron just cannot do it anymore. They're nowhere without Luka Doncic, and they're barely a play-in team without him. I mean, they are barely a play-in team without him. They are no better than us. He does nothing for them defensively. Lakers will not go deep in the playoffs, and no one knows that better than they do. Marcus Smart got the start, so did Nick Smith Jr. Getting the start for Lakers as Luka is out and Austin Reeves coming back from 3 days on injury, coming off the bench. He had a pretty good game, though, but steady. Marcus Smart, 14 points, 4 for 8 from 3, 6 assists, 3 rebounds. When he's healthy and he's playing limited spot minutes, he's a really good contributor. I've always liked Marcus Smart. Suns up 67-57 at the half on 60% shooting. Really nice. Suns hitting 100 before the third was over. No difference from the Lakers, and Dylan Brooks was just in a flow state. 45 in the third quarter on 72.7% shooting, 112-86 heading into the fourth. Not a lot to talk about this game. When the Lakers don't have Luka, as I said, they're just not really much of a team. They're kind of a bunch of relatively decent, talented guys thrown together with the exceptional Luka and the sometimes brilliant LeBron, who is really up and down. His age is finally showing. Bronny James in at 9:50 in the fourth, which means Coach J.J. Redick gave up. Suns are up 120-91. Rasheer Fleming, man, both up from G League. Nigel Hayes-Davis all get in during the fourth. Nigel Hayes-Davis does nothing but get a couple of fouls and a turnover. I don't get it. I don't know. I'm done. I've been done with him. I thought we were going to get more out of him. Apparently not. Bouye, another nice game. 14 on 7 for 10. Didn't make his threes, but 4 rebounds. He is a hell of a tall player for such a shorty. I really like him. Real strong, too. Reminds me of a more offensive-minded Josh Okogie. Okogie's a better defender. Rasheer Fleming looking confident for the first time this season. Rasheer looked pretty good. 2 offensive boards, 2 for 3 for 7 points. A 3, a steal, 2 for 2 free throws. Not bad. I know it was garbage time, but he looked good. And even when he's played before during garbage time or not, he has not looked good. So I'll take it. Book with 21 on 7 for 14. Can't make a 3. 0 for 2 from 3, 11 assists, 4 turnovers. 7 rebounds for Ryan Dunn, 12 points, and 4 or 5 from 3 for Royce O'Neal. Nice starting. Dylan Brooks, as I said, flow state with a game-high 25 on 10 for 15. He is just feeling himself offensively. Clearly worked on a whole bunch of turnarounds in the offseason and just, what's the word? Finesse offense, which he just didn't seem to have until this year, until he got to the Suns. So keep that in the back of your head when you think the Suns aren't doing well. We got a player having his best season think he's averaging 21 points a game this year. Let's see, 18 on 7 for 8 shooting. On 7 for 8 shooting, 9 rebounds for Mark Williams. He usually gets the best of DeAndre Ayton, who had a pretty steady game, but he always just is kind of there, and then he's not there. He's not an effective offensive player, even though you see his stats sometimes. 16 on 6 for 10, 4 for 8 from 3, 4 rebounds, 8 assists for Colin Gillespie. Nice, solid game. All 5 Suns starters hit double figures. Suns shoot 59% from the field, 41% from 3. We had 5 turnovers with a few minutes left in the third and ended with 13. And I know we emptied the bench, and I know guys are really trying to do a little bit more than they have to, and that's going to make for like maybe 4 or 5 turnovers, but 13. I want us to have a game. I want us to have a series of games under 10 turnovers, and I know we can do it. Both teams with 38 rebounds. Fine. I'm tired of harping on it. A 132-108 win a game we should have won. And we talk about winning games you should win. So it's a good thing, even though the Lakers had no Luka. But we've beaten them with Luka and Booker only playing 3 quarters. We're a better team. We're a better team. They may have technically more talent. We're a better team. We got a better coach. We're at New Orleans on Friday after Christmas. All righty, so let's get to your comments. We've got a lot today. Curious Mind 2525. Hello, sir, and once and for always, thank you so much for commenting. A lot of you, when you make comments, we go off in a completely different direction of what I might think we were going to be talking about, and it usually influences the next few Suns latest. So appreciate your comments. You really make this awesome. Curious Mind 2525. I suspect Green's injury is much more serious than we thought. The new timeline means he will not be released to play till mid-January. At the earliest, figure in another 2 weeks, we get him into playing shape, and we might see him around the All-Star break, more likely after, as we just talked about. At that point, I begin to question just what his effectiveness may be for the team, as this means he will have missed at least 50 games, starting to not look good. Au contraire, my friend. I think as soon as he comes back and is genuinely healthy, he will make a huge difference right away. It is simply scoring load. And, it's a lot for us to score against a really good defensive team. It's nothing against a team like the Lakers who can't defend. Either more than a strained hammy or our history with Booker's hamstring issues for the last 6 to 7 years and him never quite healing are dictating the slow return for Jalen Green. We'll never 100% know. They're never going to 100% tell us. I do not know how to say your handle. A simp named D-Slickback. Maybe you shorten that? I don't know. Luka played the lanes well. He gets lots of steals. I was talking about how Luka is a terrible defender, and I compared, and I said he's not worthy of the MVP. And this person said, well, Steve Nash got 2 MVPs, and he was a crap defender. Au contraire, my friend. When Luka decides to, he's a decent defender. He's a wide body. He's a great athlete, and he's in the best shape. But he would rather argue calls. If he doesn't get a call, if he doesn't get a non-call, if he argues his teammates' non-calls and calls, but he stays at the other end yelling at the refs, and he won't stop, and he keeps doing it. So that's deciding not to play defense. That's letting your emotions get you out of the defensive flow, making your team vulnerable. 5-on-4 makes it really easy to score against your team, and Luka does that way more, especially at this point in his career. He's an incredible offensive player. He's a top 5 player, but he doesn't deserve MVP. If he gave 50% effort on defense sometimes, that'd be great. I've seen him block shots. He knows exactly what he's doing. He can play defense. He chooses not to. Steve Nash never dogged it on defense. Ever. There's no argument there. Metallicop, LOL, not just every foul, every non-foul. Exactly what I said about Luka. So basically every play. I hate him, but still mad we didn't take him. Well, we took DeAndre Ayton, and we're looking pretty good now. The Lakers have Ayton, and they don't look so great, and I don't care what their record says. Hammered on PHX. I totally disagree about John Collins. I mentioned the Clippers forward John Collins as someone we should look at as a possible, somebody we should acquire, at least look at. Back to Hammered on. He's a finished product, and he's not going to get any better. He's a good finished product. Right now, he's better. You just contradicted yourself. But we don't have any of our young draft picks going forward. Developing these young guys is our only opportunity for a bright future. I completely disagree with that. Everybody knows that the NBA refs call games differently in the playoffs. Oh, different thought from you. But last year, they literally changed the way they call games in the back half of the season. Go Suns. Do you think Rasheer Fleming is going to develop? Back to Hammered, and even though he had a great game tonight, it's the first time I've actually been on his side this year. He's looked good in G League. Hammered on Phoenix response. He has a virtually perfect NBA body. The fact that he was available Where we got him is a huge red flag. I hope he doesn't have the affliction that can't be fixed. We can only imagine what a Michael Jordan or a Kobe or even a LeBron would have done with that body. Now I'm confused. Are you talking about Rasheer Fleming? I don't know. Because those three guys you mentioned have pretty good NBA bodies. Athletes in general. I think his IQ will dictate the outcome. My fingers are crossed. I'm really rooting for him. I think we're back to talking about Rasheer Fleming. I like what I've seen in him. I like what I've seen him in a little bit and time to time from Livers. And I like Kobe Bryant, and I like C.J. Huntley. How can we retain Mark Williams? My man, you're all over the place, but I'm going to see what I can do. I get that, but I mentioned that Fleming as much as I like him, and I've said this a couple of times, and I've just noticed a pattern, and I've noticed the history. He came out of a school in Pennsylvania, a small school called St. Joseph's. It is a Division I school, but their main rivals are Temple, Villanova, LaSalle, and Penn. Name a great player to come out of any of those schools, and I'm not going to wait because it's going to be a long time. Remember, I'm not ripping on those schools, especially Villanova, who's won titles. And there's a lot of Nova guys. Mikal Bridges ring a bell? Okay, here we go. There's a lot of good players from there. I think Jalen Brunson's from there. So there's some really good players to come out of those schools. And Penn. And it's a very good basketball program, St. Joseph's. But other than Matt Guokas and the guys I mentioned from Nova, Matt Guokas was a solid role player for the Wilt Chamberlain 68 NBA champions. That's a while back. There really haven't been a whole lot of players of consequence to come out of St. Joe's, which means the competition, the consistent competition for a team like St. Joseph's, isn't really the best of the best. It's good. It's fine. Rasheer Fleming looked great in college, but he's not going against the top-tier guys. He's just not. He's not going against Carlos Boozer's kid, and he's not going against Kobe Bryant. Crap. I'm zoning out on the number one U of A Wildcats kid. I'm sorry, I can't remember his name right now. But when they make the tournament, they are consistently ousted in the first or second round. They've gotten to the semis 3 times. What I'm getting at, as I've said it before, is players from smaller colleges like this, even though they look good and make an NBA roster, rarely move the needle. And as much as I like Rasheer Fleming, you know how high I was on him summer league and preseason. NBA body, likes to fly around, can make a 3. The few times he's been on the court this season, he's looked overwhelmed. Real wide eyes, like, holy crap, I ain't in my St. Joseph's gym anymore. I'm not playing LaSalle. I'm not playing guys from Penn. This is the NBA, and everybody's good down to the 12th man. So he looks good in the G League. He's much better than Bronny James, if that helps. But he's not a player yet. And from what I've seen, he's just not much of a project. He's just as much as a project as Malawach. You know? At the same time, he had a really good game last night. So maybe hopefully, and I hope I'm totally wrong within the next few months, and he just starts coming into his own. We all have to be patient with these young guys. I'm saying if you had a choice between Rasheer Fleming and John Collins right now for what we're trying to do, I'm okay with John Collins. He's 28 years old. He's hitting his prime. He doesn't get injured that much. John Collins can play right now. He doesn't have a bad injury history. He can go for 20 and 10. He just got one a couple of games ago. As much as I love Royce O'Neal, Collins is arguably the same kind of player and better rebounder. As much as I love Rasheer Fleming, I'd rather have John Collins. It's a business. What do you want to win, or do you just want to see what happens? I want to win. And I would like to win now, and John Collins gives us 4 to 5 years of solid production. He's also 4 years younger and in his prime. He's 4 years younger than a guy like Royce O'Neal. We retained Mark Williams by dumping Nick Richards $5 million, and then letting Mark and his crew know that we want him to be part of the Suns for a very long time. There's other things we can do, but we can keep Mark Williams. He has already said this is home, and he wants to stay. Mr. DeCasso, Jermaine O'Neal is definitely top 5 straight to the NBA from high school player. I enjoyed watching his defense, especially shot blocking. Oh, I posed the question because I read a quote from Moses Malone yesterday. Who are the 5 greatest straight to the NBA from high school players of all time? I had Moses Malone, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, Kevin Garnett. I mean, all those guys have won MVPs. They've all won titles as well. And then who else? Who's the other guy? So you're picking Jermaine O'Neal. How about Amari Stoudemire? How about Tracy McGrady? How about Sean Kemp? Who's the 5th guy? Who's the 5th best out of this crew? Nevetsov answering yesterday's trivia. Oh, okay. We're gonna get to you because you got it right, but we're gonna get to it. Real quick, NBA news. I can't not watch the tragedy that is Draymond Green the last couple of years. Warriors coach Steve Kerr and pain in the ass forward Draymond Green got into an argument early in the third on Monday night. With a win over the Magic, Green left the bench and missed the final 20 minutes of the game. Draymond had committed a turnover and then started yelling at a ref in his special way. Kerr calls a timeout to stop that. Green spends 8 minutes and 21 seconds in the locker room. So he misses the entire third quarter on his own accord. He wasn't sent there. He just got up and left after an argument on the bench with Steve Kerr. Comes back just before the fourth. Keeps his warm-ups on. Does not go back into the game. Kerr said he wasn't going back in, that he left, and the team moved forward and played great. Quote, we had it out a little bit. It was a full-blown argument. It wasn't Steve Kerr's loyal to his team. That's all I can say. Quote, we had it out a little bit. He made his decision to go back to the locker room to cool off. That's all I'm going to say about it. Everything is private. Quote. This should be Draymond's last year with the Warriors. It might be Kerr's too. Okay, so it's just kind of ridiculous. Moving on, hang on. Let's just move this stuff around. So that was your NBA news. I got to get better at this. I really have just dropped the ball in the last two Suns latest with this. But I did want to get to your Suns trivia. And Novetsev got it right, but I'll ask the question again. So yesterday's trivia, how many sets of brothers have played for the Suns at the same time? We've had brothers. We've had guys who are related. We've had guys on the Suns who have had other guys on other teams. But how many sets of brothers have played for the Suns at the same time? A, 5 sets. B, 4 sets. C, 3 sets. D, 8 sets. And the answer, provided by Novetsev, correctly, 3. Goran and Zoran Dragic, which you all forgot about. Marcus and Markieff Morris, the idiot twins, and Dick and Tom Van Arsdale, the other set of twins. I think the Suns are the only team to have 2 different sets of twins play on the team even at different times. But yeah, so Dick and Tom Van Arsdale, Markieff and Marcus Morris, and Goran and Zoran Dragic. Goran and Zoran played on the Suns at the same time. Markieff and Marcus, identical twins, played at the same time, and Dick and Tom Van Arsdale at the same time. In October of 1976, the Van Arsdales were the first ever twins to play in the same game for the same team at the same time. They were on the court at the same time. And I was at one of those games. It was the last year for both of them. It was the year after the Suns went to the finals, and they picked up Tom Van Arsdale, and it was bizarre. They had the same exact game. They played the same game. It was a trip. Mason and Miles Plumlee both played for the Suns, but at separate times. Sebastian Telfair, Nash backup for a minute, cousin of Steph Marbury, who played for the Suns, but they didn't play at the same time. There. That is your trivia question. Let's see, Wednesday trivia question. So this is today's Wednesday, and we'll answer this one tomorrow. Which straight from high school players have played for the Suns? The only hint I will give you is that there are 3. How many high school players have played for the Suns? There's only 3. You should probably get the first 2. The third one's going to be a pain for you to figure out unless you have been watching closely for the last 6 or 7 years. Those are your hints. I appreciate you watching Suns Latest on FanArch. We are getting very close to 1,300 Sunscribers. Remember, when you sign up for Suns Latest on FanArch, you are no longer a sub, you are a Sunscriber, and I deeply appreciate this. Appreciate that. This has been Suns Latest. I am Rich Rubin. Suns beat the Lakers. That should send you right into your Christmas Eve really, really well. Thank you for watching. Go Suns.